If you're interested at all about what's happening in 2017 and beyond in the space of video, marketing, live video, content creation, long form, short form, this show is going to give you so much bang for your buck. Let me introduce to you Mr. Nick Nimmin. Nick, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. How are you doing?
I am doing amazing. I got to admit, this is. I'm a father of two. I don't think I even told you that. So this is like 2 a.m. for me. I mean, if you translate it that way. So I am. But I have so much. I'm so pumped right now. The adrenaline is flowing. Nick, I'm going to go ahead and share this live stream out.
Okay.
And by the way, I told the same thing to previous guests. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Obviously, I can't do a lot with this screen because this is the direct stream, and I'm sure you're aware of that. But please feel free to share this out yourself. I'm going to share this out on my other device, share this stream out. Hey, Steven, how are you? Steven's on the stream. Steven is a wonderful, I had him on the show very recently. He's a great live streamer and video creator himself. Leave some comments, please, NEZNATION. I'm going to get to your questions. I have a ton of questions for Nick, but I'm going to allow Nick to just tell us a little bit more about himself, anything I might have left out in that introduction while I share this out. Thank you, Nick. Go ahead.
Thanks, Peter. I appreciate it. Yeah, basically, I make YouTube videos for people that are interested in growing their YouTube channels and learning about the process of creating videos and basically fighting through that learning curve that comes with creating a long-term YouTube channel. Not the viral type content, to where you make a prank video or something like that and it blows up, but for the entrepreneurs, for the people that are making regular videos on a regular schedule and they're trying to actually grow their schedule grow their audience, and grow their presence on the internet by uploading regular content and sharing their content and basically sharing the information that they have with the world, kind of like you are doing as well right now, Peter.
Exactly. I'm doing it in real time. What you're exactly
right.
talking about. Right. All right.
But
Steven,
in addition to that, I am also the creator of a website called tubertools.com, where we have pretty much everything you need for your YouTube channel. We have YouTube in-screen backgrounds. We offer custom branding packages for your YouTube channel because it's really important, as I'm sure a lot of your viewers know already. It's very important that that presentation that you give to people when they come to your channel and when they're interacting with your content, when they're watching your videos, live or otherwise, all of how everything looks and that presentation that you give to people can really make or break what's going on with your YouTube channel. So we've created some.
And by the way, I am a testament to everything that Nick is talking about. Guys, NEZNATION, I just reached some serious milestones. I don't even know if Nick's aware of this. I am #1 on Google video search for my niche, which is the mindset techniques, practical tools that you can use to be more self-aware using emotional intelligence. Nice. And getting the eternal doubter, the dude who lives inside your brain, out of your way and on your way to success. I've been using everything. Watching Nick's videos has literally been, I'm not even exaggerating this, NEZNATION, watching Nick's production, and I haven't even gotten into Tuber Tools. I totally forgot. Tuber Tools is an amazing company that Nick runs. I have learned more by watching him and Brian G. and others, and Owen. There's Gord. Hey, Gord, how are you? Welcome. I have learned.
What's up, Gord?
Yeah, Gord's in the house. Chosen Boy is in the house. Hey, welcome. Steven, all right. We're getting the viewership going here. Give us some hearts, guys. Give us some thumbs up. It really helps the stream, and it just shows that you're there. Let us know that you're there by giving us some smiley faces. There you go, Gord. Gord gave a couple of hearts. Gord is also another member of that group, and I have learned more by watching this man's work than I ever have I have 3 degrees. Here I go again. Broken record. I said this before in a previous. I promised myself I wouldn't say this, Nick. Look how much of a dope I am. I have learned more by watching Nick, by watching Brian, by watching Gord and Steve and Tim Knox and others. Great group. About marketing, about branding, about professionalism in this very important space. Nez Nation, my students are watching this. I have a few students who are on right now. I've been telling you guys this day in and day out. If you're not paying attention to what's happening in your current zeitgeist, the climate of the times, you're missing out. This is
Big
what
time.
it is. Professor Nez loves this. Like, and again, I don't think this is for everybody. I think you have to love this to do it. But at the same time, you got to be intelligent and understand where things are moving, right? Where things are moving in the current, space. And
if you don't mind me jumping in, you were talking
please.
about you were talking about the importance of loving doing it. And that's a huge factor on any of this stuff. If you're trying to create a presence on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is, you have to really be into it. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to do this because I think that it's good for me, or because I think that it's good to, to expand my brand exposure or whatever. You have to actually be into it, because the initial process of getting started, it's frustrating. It takes time. There's a learning curve. There's all of these struggles that everybody goes through when they're first getting started, and the actual passion or the actual love for what it is that you're doing is what gets you through that initial process when you're first starting out. And it's what makes or breaks everything as far as, your message out.
Absolutely, Nick. I couldn't agree more. And that was in one of his videos, was it not, Nick? You said that very same exact phrase, which getting you through, because I got to be honest with you, Nick, I was producing video, and actually Nick told me, Nick is one of these guys who, and Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have 20,000 subscribers?
I'm 22, just crossed 22.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I stand corrected.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's moving fast.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm approaching 4,000 new subscribers a month.
Oh my God,
so it's
dude,
yeah.
I'm
So
so proud of you, dude. You deserve it.
Thanks.
Much deserved. So
thanks. I appreciate it.
Nick's one of these guys who I'm nobody, Nez Nation. Literally, I'm nobody. Right? Nick takes the time out, and this is something that I think Brian and Tube Ritual really advocates. Nick took the time out. He looked at my channel. And he literally, and Gord, who's watching right now, Gord has been an amazing help as well, because he's heavily involved in the group and he does amazing work himself. He took the time out. Nick said, yeah, I looked at your channel. Literally, I got this message through YouTube. Yeah, I looked at your channel. I think you need to post more. I think you need to clean this up more. And he literally gave me, he didn't have to do this. I wasn't paying him. I wasn't somebody who had really anything to offer him other than just, my humble admiration. And he took the time out to, and I'm kind of stroking him right now, and maybe he's embarrassed right now. I don't mean to, but
oh no, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, I try to do that as often as I can. I can't do that for every person, but when people reach out to me and I look at their channels and I see, I get an idea of what it is they're trying to do. When I see other people trying to help people in some way, and your content helps people, when I see other people trying to help people, it's an honor for me to hop in and make a few suggestions that might help them grow a little bit faster, or might help them get a little bit more traction, because, the more that I can help somebody that's trying to help people, then the better everything's going to be in the world. Right?
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. Gord says in the comments, heads down and work hard. Absolutely. Amen to that, Gord. Chosen Boy says, I subscribe to a lot of channels, but Nick Nimmin stands out by his passion to genuinely help others. I think that's priceless, Nick. And here's what I was going to say, Nick, really quickly, especially the new live streams. Chosen Boy, that's awesome. And we're going to talk about YouTube mobile, because it is huge. And Nick, being the man of integrity that he is, told me before we went on the air, he said, Peter, I want to let you know, I'm not an expert live streamer. This isn't my specialty. This is something that I'm very interested in doing, and I'm trying to do it, and I'm trying to, experiment, but this isn't something that his specialty is in the more kind of pre-recorded, premeditated, pre-scripted videos, which are just phenomenal. I mean, never mind the technical prowess, but the content and the value. Your quote on your page, the Einstein quote, remind me again what that says. Do you know that by heart, or do you have to search it?
Yeah, it's gosh, what is it?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but it was so
no,
beautiful.
It's okay, but
because I use Einstein quotes in my class. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something along the lines, instead of striving for success, strive to be of value.
That's it.
It's some variation of that, but the actual specific words used, I'm not sure. I'm horrible with quotes.
No, that was it. And here's the thing. I got so depressed. I'm going to be honest with everybody right now. I'm like, shit, dude. Like, I'm putting video after video. I've got a family, Nick. I've got I teach at like 4 universities, right? So I'm teaching because living in Southern California, I don't know if you're aware of this, Nick, it's expensive as shit, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I was getting so bummed. I was getting so depressed. I was like, nothing's happening. My views aren't going up. My subscriptions aren't going up. It doesn't seem like it's maybe resonating. I mean, I've got a few here, a few there, and it's real. Here I am. I talk about mindsets. I talk about getting out of your own way. I talk about that inner demon that's in everybody. And here I am. I'm susceptible to that. I'm vulnerable to that. I think every creator, I'll never forget what somebody said once in an interview. It was on Charlie Rose. He said, if you're a creator and you're not sensitive to what other people say, you're not sensitive to what's happening in your environment, you're not sensitive to just all the little nuances of being a creator, then you're not a creator. And I was like, man, I was depressed as shit, Nick. But I kept plugging away. Nick was inspiring. Nick, that phrase, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Nick, because I remember watching that video in my down moment, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, like that, I almost felt like that video was especially for me. I don't mean to make this sound like Oprah Winfrey or like Dr. Phil.
No, that's cool. And you know what? And for me, like hearing that, like that is the type of stuff that, like, you know, how you were saying before the show and how you actually said during the show, how, you know, people feel that, you know, I genuinely, you know, try to help people. It's that genuinely. Right there. Yeah. It's what you were talking about, you know, people saying, you know, hey, from my point of view, if I can make for every single video that I make, if I can have one person have a reaction like you said that you had, then that makes everything else, you know what I mean? That makes everything else. That makes the work. That makes for the videos that you put out that suck. You know what I mean? It makes those worth it, you know, when those videos don't get traction. You know, I mean, it kind of pulls back into that love and passion part that we were talking about before. You know, that love and passion for you wanting to do what you're doing is what helped pull you through that depression that you were talking about and keep going. Could have just walked away.
I was so down, dude. Yeah, I mean, Nick, I was so down. Chosen Boy just corrected the quote, by the way, or at least he clarified, strive not to be a success, but rather be of value. Thank you, Chosen Boy.
Yeah.
And Gord
thank you, Chosen Boy.
Yeah, thank you, Chosen Boy. And Gord has a really great question. I want to get to that in just a second. Nick, you know, it's so easy it's easier to quit. It's easier to give up, isn't it? And and I think as creators, I think that there is a I don't want to say softness isn't the right adjective, but there is this sort of we can be more vulnerable, I think, than most, because being a creator requires that sensitivity, if you will. I think that's my personal belief.
Well, it does. It also opens you up to judgment.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, opening yourself up to judgment, there's a certain, you know, softness that comes with that and a hardness, but you know, in order to put yourself on the line and actually open yourself up to that judgment and say, you know what, I for whatever reason, I don't feel comfortable on camera, but I'm just going to go for it anyway, because it's something that I really want to do.
Right.
Being able to just lay it on the line and put yourself out there, that takes a certain amount of vulnerability.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Courage,
that you're willing to go ahead and go for it.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes serious courage, I think. I wanted to ask you, and then I want to get to Gord's question, how do you handle, because as your subscription base, as your viewership, as your audience is just progressing and growing, and YouTube is almost, and maybe we can talk about this too, because I think YouTube maybe is more there's a lot more of trolls maybe than other platforms. I don't know if that's true. Maybe I'm just assuming that. How do you handle that judgment, Nick, as a creator and as somebody whose audience is getting bigger? That's something I wish I could have asked Owen. I don't think I asked him that. And then I want to get to Gord's question, but how do you handle the judgment? What do you because Brian handles it. We know how Brian handles it. I mean, somewhat. Brian is so active in the group. I love it, and he has a great way of handling it. I'm curious, Nick, and I'm sure you get trolls. How do you handle it? What do you do?
Absolutely. First is I'll laugh, but second, you know, they'll talk about my age, they'll talk about my glasses, they'll talk about me not having hair, they'll talk about, you know, like if I run a skin smoothing filter on my videos, if I'm not paying attention, sometimes that filter will go up just a little bit too high, and it actually makes it look like my eyebrows are screwed up. And maybe my eyebrows are screwed up.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, and maybe they are screwed up. I don't know. If you didn't notice, you'll notice now.
I've never.
But
now I'm like eyeing them.
Right. But people leave, tons of not tons of comments, but people leave comments, about that sort of thing, and how I pronounce words sometimes and things like that. And for me, I kind of find it interesting. Like at first I was like, are my eyebrows screwed up? Oh, wow. Am I too old to be doing YouTube? You know what I mean? And you start thinking about that, but then it's like, you know what? Why am I looking at it that way instead of saying, okay, well, I'm doing this anyway. And I'm actually just going to have compassion for those people that the only thing that they have to contribute is something negative. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm going to delete their comment. Of course, I'm going to ban them from my channel. So, let's get that straight. But, outside of that, I have compassion for those people that the only thing that they have to contribute out of all of the videos on YouTube, that they're going to go to anyone's videos and leave negative comments and try to harp on someone's personal appearance or try to troll them in any way. I feel sorry for them, really. And not to make myself sound,
of course not.
High up or anything, but I have compassion because I can't imagine what goes on inside of their head. That inner demon that you were talking about before, I can't imagine what goes on inside of their head in their day-to-day life that they feel that they have to go onto a platform like YouTube or any other social media outlet and focus all of their energy on trying to make someone else feel bad about, whatever it is that they're doing.
That's so interesting to me. I want to ask you, Myrna says, Professor Nez, you inspire me. I'm so happy to see you live. Thank you, Myrna. And nice. Gord, keep those questions coming. I love those questions. Where did you, because that's such a, I don't think that's a typical response. I love that. It's very, and maybe this is kind of ties into your choice to go to Thailand, because I made the astute observation, Nez Nation, before we went live, that perhaps Nick wasn't a native of Thailand.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I mean, that's an interesting perspective. That's a very a very almost altruistic or compassionate, a very non-centered perspective. How did you get that perspective, or how did you cultivate that? That's interesting to me, because I don't think that's a typical response. Sure. I think a lot of people some people get into it with them, or some people just give a big F-bomb and say F you, but you kind of take this other route. Where did that come from?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It's something that's just developed over time, like not to, promote the practice, but sort of to promote the practice. Meditation is a very important part of my life. And
great.
Yeah. Every day for 20 minutes a day, I sit down and I do meditation. Yeah. Through that, it's actually given me a lot of perspective over time. It's given me a lot of perspective and a lot of new ways of thinking about things that I might have otherwise, been a little bit more negative about, or a little bit less understanding about.
It's funny because Gord's on here right now, and Gord's got a brand new book called Petals of Life, which is really,
Petals of Life. Yeah.
Have you seen that, Nick? And
yes, I have.
I
tried to leave a review. I tried to leave a review for him on Amazon, but because a lot of places don't ship to Thailand from Amazon, so I don't shop on Amazon. There's a local place called Lazada that is basically the Amazon of Asia, and that's where I usually do my stuff. So I tried to go in there and leave a review. It wouldn't let me.
Well, it's interesting because we've got Gord on the program, and your thesis seems very kind of like synced with I kind of, I tell my students all the time, I say, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I want you to go, don't listen to anybody in a box. Don't listen to anybody in a classroom if it doesn't resonate with you. My favorite poet is the American Walt Whitman. And Whitman says, discard anything that insults your soul. Question everything you hear in church. Question everything you hear in school. Examine everything you've been told as a youngster. And it's been my beacon, my sort of North Star, if you will. And I try to teach that to my students, that the real university, in one of my YouTube videos, the real university is in here. The real professor is in here. And I just wanted to ask you about that, because that's such an amazing perspective. And gosh, we're not even going to get into all that because there's so much to talk about, and I want to move on. But Nick, I'm going to need you to come on again because this is something we might have to dedicate a whole show to perspective and to humanity and to sort of how we look at the world and how we can be compassionate. Because I think that's, and the fact that you meditate, this is getting good already. I love it. Hey, welcome Ryan. Ryan's on the program. Ryan, welcome to the broadcast. So Gord asks, what inspires you, Nick? What inspires you most to do what you are doing? And then he also says, tell us what has changed most about yourself as you've progressed. Actually, can you answer that second one first, Nick? Because we've kind of talked about your inspiration, and I'd like you to touch on that if you want to. This is your show. But what has changed most about yourself as you've become, sort of more of a face, more of a known, recognized source for how-to on YouTube?
What has changed for myself as far as YouTube is concerned, and as I'm like growing the presence, so to speak.
Even maybe personally too. I mean, even lifestyle or maybe personally, but yeah, professionally or what your whole kind of vocation is content creation, video creation. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
So you could maybe even go into both worlds. Like, what has changed for you professionally, and maybe if you want to, you don't have to. What has changed for you personally? I'm interested. I know NEZNATION.
Okay, yeah, I'll hit them both. Professionally, we'll get that one first. Okay. Professionally, it has brought tons of opportunity my way, of course. Because if you have eyeballs, so to speak, then people are interested in those eyeballs. So I have people hitting me up regularly. Trying to pay me to do videos, that sort of thing, which I've actually only taken one of those, which will be coming out on the channel soon, but the opportunities are there if I chose to jump on them all. It's opened me up a lot to other productive people. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the with anything, there are barriers to entry. Right. I mean, we'll just call it what it is. There's barriers to entry. And once you reach a certain level, so to speak, you operate with different people. Right. So when you're just starting out and you're struggling and you're trying to get it, maybe you don't fully understand all of the dynamics involved. And because of it, when somebody that is already further down the road than you are, because they've just put in more time, if they're further down the road than you are, they can see what you're doing in a different light than the way you see it. So what happens is, as you start to expand your presence and people start to know more about what it is that you're doing, that opens you up to, let me turn this off.
Here's the beauty of live, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Phone's going off. Yeah.
Anything can happen live.
But that opens you up to other people. You know what I mean? It opens you up
networking,
to
right. It's professional.
Yeah, networking. Yeah. And people that are doing things in a similar level than you are, and even higher. Because
I've seen you do collaboration videos with Brian and others. I actually noticed this. Tell me if this is something that you want to talk about, Nick, because I've noticed this recently, that you've had a lot more, what would you call them? Like guest spots or
collaboration videos.
Yeah, collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration videos.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. Is that something that you always wanted to do, or is that just something that because you've become such a presence, this is something that you feel you need to do, or you just like doing it?
I think it's a blast, first off.
Okay.
The whole YouTube thing for me is I have a field day with everything YouTube related. I enjoy hanging out with other creators. I love doing stuff like this right now. Just all of it. I love making the videos. I love editing the videos. I love talking to people in the comments. A lot of people on my channel, when they leave comments and stuff, I'll end up connecting with them on Facebook later, something like that. And I just like that whole person to person thing that comes along with.
Yeah.
So that side of it, I absolutely,
dude, your
absolutely love.
Your videos with Brian. Oh my God, they're like so top.
Yeah.
I would dare anybody, NEZNATION, if you haven't seen them, go check out the collaborations with Brian G. Johnson because they are on par with, any video out there, I think. And
they're fun, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun putting that stuff together.
It totally
as well
shows. Do you think that's important, Nick? Do you think it's important that if you do, is it because I tell my students to be aware of it? I tell my students that yes, I think you should be on Snapchat. Yes, I think you should be on Instagram. I think you should be on Facebook and YouTube. Do you think that? And tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm more than happy to admit that I'm wrong because I've been wrong a million times. But do you think that it's important that you you must have a feel for the platform. You must have a taste for it. You must have a yearning for it. Can you fake it? I mean, you hear this. I don't like this phrase, and I'm curious to see what you think. Fake it till you make it.
I think that I think you can. I think that depending on what it is that you're faking, I think that you can. Like, if you don't like a user interface, then you're not going to like the platform because it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be annoying to do it. Oh man, I got to make this Snapchat update. I got to start, making all these videos to update my story, and it becomes a headache. But if you find something that you enjoy, like me, I enjoy YouTube. So I focus all of my efforts on YouTube as far as, growing my audience is concerned.
Right.
And because of that, because I focused on growing that, as a side effect, my Instagram is growing now. My Twitter is slowly starting to grow now, but I don't do hardly anything on either of those platforms. But because of my YouTube presence, it's rippling into the other aspects of social media. So
I actually was going to ask you about that because I noticed Brian seems to be so omnipresent on Facebook. He's on.
Yeah,
Facebook.
He's everywhere.
Everywhere.
I mean,
and people say the same thing about me. I was on Todd Live's podcast, Divorce the Workforce, and he was like, "Dude, I can't not see you. Like, you're everywhere. You're on Insta." And I just told him, I go, "Look, dude, I love it, and I believe in hard work. I think that Snapchat, I think that YouTube is 21st century storytelling. The medium has changed, right? It used to be like Shakespearean books and novels and articles, and still there's blogs now. But I think that video...
And now it's cat videos.
Now it's... Now it's cat videos. But I mean, it's so interesting to me because I don't see... I was going to ask you this. I go, Nick, I don't see you on Facebook. I don't see you on Snapchat as much or Instagram.
Yeah.
And do you think that's important, Nick? Do you think that... There's the theory of spreading yourself too thin. Should you focus?
I do.
Yeah.
The reason that I think that that it's important to focus on a platform is so that you get a really good understanding on that platform. Because if you are, like you said, spreading yourself out too thin, then you can't really get traction anywhere. Now, on the flip side of that, if you don't mess with the other platforms, maybe your intention is, hey, I'm going to grow a YouTube channel, or hey, I'm going to grow a Facebook page, but for whatever reason, people are loving your snaps. So your Snapchat just completely blows up,
right.
And then you can filter traffic into what it is that you're actually wanting to do. So in that aspect, it's good to actually try everything,
experiment.
But experiment. But
right.
But once you find a few things that you're actually into, like I enjoy Instagram, I think it's cool. So I recently started updating my Instagram regularly.
Yeah.
I love YouTube. Facebook is cool. I enjoy Facebook, and I like interacting in the groups and stuff. But I really just like putting out videos. You know what I mean? So because of that, I put everything onto YouTube. I'm going to, once I get a better understanding of Instagram, I'm going to move into Facebook as well.
Cool.
Because as things progress, I'm getting and it's weird. Like I'm getting more busy, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I'm getting a lot more time opening up.
Interesting.
So it's like I'm getting more offers. I'm getting more opportunities coming in, but those opportunities are allowing me a few more pockets here and there.
Yeah.
Right. That is going to pretty soon allow me to start, opening up to Facebook and spending more time on, Instagram and some of the other networks as well.
I think, Nick, just my opinion, not that I know anything and not that this opinion's worth anything. I think your energy, I think your narrative, I think your storytelling abilities and I'm a communications professor. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I think that you and Brian, Gord included and others in our group, your communication skills are exemplary. I was going to have Owen.
Thank you.
I was blown away by Owen. Owen, if you're watching,
Owen's fantastic.
Dude, this guy's personality, I thought I was a good talker.
He's off the charts.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Nick.
Off the charts.
I thought I was a good talker, and then Owen literally stole the show, and I was happy to give it to him because I was like, dude, you take over. You are awesome, right?
Yeah.
I think with you, Nick, honestly, and this is just my opinion again, I think on Instagram specifically, Facebook Live, and I think Facebook native video is getting bigger and bigger. But I think for you, and this is just, again, I think Instagram, your energy and what you bring to that platform would be really cool to watch. See you transition a little bit into Instagram. But this is so important for Nez Nation, our audience, because there's so many people watching, Nick, and there's so many questions rolling in right now. I want to get to them. but there's so many people watching right now who I think get overwhelmed. It seems like every other day, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, there's a new platform, there's a new live app, there's a new video app. Video, let's face it, Nez Nation, I've been saying this for at least the last 9 months. Video, especially live video, specifically live video, is blowing up. It's actually all the algorithms. Even I would even guess, I know Facebook and Twitter do, and Periscope and Instagram, but I would even presume that YouTube's algorithm is maybe even going to start, based on the results that I've seen from you and Brian, the algorithm supports live video.
Absolutely. Yeah, they actually put more weight, so to speak, on more ranking weight on live streams. So during the time that you're live, if you optimize your video correctly, during the time that you're live, you can actually dominate some pretty difficult terms. As long as you have just a little bit of traction going on your channel, right, then a little bit of authority, then you can dominate some terms that you might not normally rank for during the time that you're live. And then once you kill it, then you'll start to drop. But during the time that you're live, you can position yourself nicely.
That's awesome, Nick. Lance, I want to get to Lance. Lance asked a question a little bit back, and Gord has a good question, another good question. Lance Tyree, thank you for watching. Lance says, Nick, what is your biggest challenge with YouTube and making videos? Great question.
Biggest challenge is that I can't make enough videos fast enough. I would serious. If I had a editor, which I will eventually, which is going to suck because I personally love editing my videos. But
I love editing.
God, it's so much
fun. I think that's where the storytelling happens, don't you?
I agree.
I think that's where it's all happening. Yeah,
I agree.
And look, Lance says, "LOL." Same here.
Yeah, the finding the time to actually make more videos is the most difficult part. Like, I would love to do a daily upload. I'm not sure if my audience would go for it or not, but I would love to do a daily upload. And I just, with the live streaming, now I'm going every Saturday with a live stream. I'm going every Wednesday with a YouTube tip video or something YouTube specifically related. And I just started with Mobile Mondays, to where I'm doing mobile phone related things. So right now that's 3 new properties a week that I'm adding to YouTube, which is
correct me if I'm wrong.
Which is good. I would like to get it to 7 though, or at least 5.
Well, that's so amazing. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. Nez Nation, if you're listening, listen to how he structured that. Listen to how he titled that. Listen to how Nick incorporated themes. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but this is a really strong way of growing your channel, is having a consistent theme, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. You want to, when you're putting a channel together, you want to let people know what they can expect and when.
That's perfect.
So almost all of my videos are specific to YouTube. So right there, I have that umbrella, right? To where it's like, okay, no matter what, everything on this channel is going to be somewhat related to growing your YouTube channel or making videos.
And
right?
Look at what Lance
and then
says.
From there, it's broken down.
From there, it's broken down. Perfect. And look at what Lance says. Lance, I feel you. Lance says, having a family of 4 kids, a full-time job, makes it very difficult to upload more. Lance.
I can imagine.
Do you have any kids, Nick?
No.
Okay, smart man. No, I'm kidding. I have 2 kids. Now, I love them to death, okay? I have a 5-year-old. He just turned 5. And I have a 3-year-old. And I joke with my students. I think my students think I hate my kids. I really don't. I love them to death. But they do drive me crazy. And I have a mortgage, and I got a wife. I got 10 classes I'm teaching a semester, night, morning, noon. And I love doing this. So I try to do this from like 7 p.m. to like 2 in the morning.
And that's what's amazing. That's where your passion and your love comes through.
I love it. Like, I just
because other people in this same situation, other people in your same exact situation would say, well, I don't have time to do it.
Totally.
But because you're into it, and because it's something that you're passionate about, and because it's something that you love doing, you make the time. Like right now, you said it's what, 2 o'clock in the morning there?
Right now it is, it's got to be at least 10:30, maybe 11, almost 11 p.m.
Okay, so almost 11 o'clock. You should probably be in bed or doing something like that. But instead,
I got a morning class, Nick. I got a class that starts at 7 o'clock.
Nice. So you should definitely be in bed, but instead, because of your passion for doing this, and because it's something that you are working towards, you've made the time, even though it requires you to sacrifice a little bit of sleep tonight. And that's where, like we mentioned at the beginning of this, that's where being passionate about and actually loving and being into what it is that you're doing can really make it can make or break what it is that you're doing, because it's a million times easier for you to just say, you know what, I'm just too tired, or hey, I got to get up and do a class in the morning, so I'm just not going to do it today. Right?
I could not agree. You just said it. That's perfect. That's absolutely right. And this really complements my personality. I love doing it. I love sharing. I love inspiring. It was really my students who kind of ignited, or maybe were the spawn of this. I'll never forget, I had one student come up to me. I might have said this before. Sorry if this sounds like a broken record, Nez Nation. I had one student come up to me before and said, Professor Nez, the first class, it was that very first class, I knew this was going to be the best semester of my life. And I almost cried. Like I literally, Nick, I'm not even, this sounds like, mushy, but I literally almost cried because I thought to myself, that's not the only time that a student has said that. So all the quizzes and all the like in-class writing and all the boring shit, nobody was into. But that first class, because I brought my personality and I shared my love and passion for writing and storytelling, and they felt it, right? I knew, this is maybe something, if I can kind of capture lightning in a bottle, and it just works. Now the technology is caught up. I was talking to another video creator, Nick, and he said, you couldn't the ease of access, the accessibility of doing this now with just devices, simple everyday devices, right?
All you need.
Yeah.
All you need right here.
But Nick, you've been doing this a long time. Correct me if I'm wrong. It took a lot to do this, right? Back in the day?
I've been going hard on YouTube on one channel or another for the past 2 years. That's it. So not too long.
Wow. Okay. So
yeah, I've been making videos.
Yeah.
I've been making videos for a long time, but I haven't been, like saying, okay, I'm going to dedicate myself to, regular uploads and all of that stuff. I haven't been doing that for very long.
Oh, I got to give a shout out. Chosen Boy says, okay, first he says it's 12:38 a.m. here in St. Louis. He said, I set an alarm to watch this live stream. Dude, you are awesome.
Nice.
You are awesome. And then Gord,
nice.
Did you ever feel, okay, Gord has a really interesting question. Did you ever feel that you didn't produce enough in something you delivered? I feel I overproduce and struggle backing off. Interesting question. Have you ever
Here's the thing, Gord.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing, Gord. There's another video. There's always another video.
Cool.
So basically you give the information that basically summarizes what it is that you're going to say. And if you feel that it wasn't enough, then make another video about the same exact thing and give, continue the story there instead of trying to cram everything into one video. Break it up. Say, okay, well, in this particular video, I'm going to talk about if there's, 5 topics and it's going to make for a 20 or 30 minute video. Say, you know what, I'm just going to talk about 2 in this video, and that's perfectly okay. And people are going to be fine with that. And then the next video, I'm going to talk about another 2, and then I'll cover the last one in another video because it's going to take the longest. So yeah, there's always another video. You always have that opportunity to just upload more. So yeah, for me personally, I think of it that way. Like I think of, okay, well, I'm going to get this video together and I'm going to share the information that I have. But if there's more that I need to say, then I'll just work it into another video later down the road. And I highly recommend that instead of trying to cram everything into like a 20-minute video. Just give it in small bits, 6 to 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever, instead of trying to get everything into that one video.
That's a great tip right there. That's
and especially awesome. With you, Gord. Yeah, especially with you, Gord, because you bring value anyway. You're showing people how to do things that they don't know how to do. That's why they're on your channel. So if you can break those down into more bite-sized pieces so that you can get them out faster, then you'll win.
I love that. And I know Brian talks a lot about audience retention. And then, do you think that shorter videos are more effective given the fact that maybe perhaps attention spans aren't what they used to be? Or do you think that if you really have a lot to produce, go ahead and produce a longer video? What's your thoughts on that, Nick?
I think it depends on your audience. It depends on your audience and the type of content that you create. Like for example, I have a client of mine that makes 60-second videos. He also does longer form content, but he does 60-second videos so that he can upload them more regularly. And when he does those videos, it's about a specific topic and things that are happening right now with a specific topic, and they're only 60-second videos. His retention, of course, on those is completely off the charts. And his audience, he transfers his audience from those into his longer form content. So basically, he uploads 60-second videos to rank and search or whatever, and to draw attention from those. And then those people subscribe to his channel. And then when he uploads his longer form content, they come back and they and they watch that. So I think it all depends on what it is that you're doing. Like if you're doing training stuff, like Gord and myself, to where you're saying, okay, do this, do this, do this, then in that case, make the video as long as it needs to be. If you need to break that video up into a few segments, that's cool, but make each video as long as it needs to be to handle at least one idea. And then once that idea is finished, if you have time to squeeze in another idea, that's cool. But if it's going to take your video longer than you want it to be, just work on one idea at a time. Because the people are coming to your videos, they're wanting to know how to do something.
Yeah.
So just teach them how to do that, and then move on to another video, and just make it as long as it needs to be. Don't fill it up with a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be there just for the sake of making a longer video, because people can feel that. When they're watching a video and you're putting in filler content, it's obvious, and people will drop off because of it, because it's like, okay, well, hey, the information stopped like 5 minutes ago and we're still going, or hey, he's dragging this particular thing on. He said this like 8 times. So, I'm just going to bail before this video is over and go find somebody that's going to do it in a quicker way.
That's awesome. God, I mean, NEZNATION, we are getting some serious value here. I study some of the hot YouTubers out there and great video content creators. I mean, people like Philly D. I know you know who Philly DeFranco is, and even Amy Schmidauer, and definitely Casey's stuff. I don't think there's a second in if you don't know NEZNATION, Casey Neistat, I don't think there's a second of any of his videos that's boring. I mean, he keeps the action flowing, and yes, he has all the high grade technical equipment, and I think Nick probably does as well. What would you say? And it looks like, really quickly, let me go to the comments before I get to my question, Nick. Short videos. So Chosen Boy says mixture, longer videos, more watch time, shorter, more retention.
Yeah, and that's something that I want to mention too. I'm glad he brought that up. That's something that I do want to mention. Okay. Like in relation to my client that makes the 60-second videos, that is a very important thing to keep in mind. If you have a channel of only 60-second videos, if every single person watches 100% of your video, you can only gain a minute at a time for watch time. But if you make we'll put that reference to a 3-minute video. If your videos are 3 minutes long, if people watch 100% of those videos, the max watch time that you're going to get per video is going to be 3 minutes. But if you make a 10-minute long video, if you have the information for that, if you make a 10-minute long video, then if people only watch half of it, then you're still getting 5 minutes. So you're getting an extra 2 minutes of watch time on average per viewer by making the longer video.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe perhaps.
So you're not capping yourself.
You're not capping yourself. Myrna says, very, thank you, Nick. And thank you, Chosen Boy. Myrna says, short videos makes it easier for everyone to watch. Also, it grabs attention. Thank you, Myrna. Yeah, I agree with that. Gord Eisman.
Let me jump in on that really quick too. It does. Yeah, it does make it easier for people to watch shorter videos because they want information quickly about the attention span, like we were talking about before. However, if you are making content that does require longer attention spans, like how-to content or something like that, where you're actually showing people how to do things, the time limit on the video isn't as important. So, if somebody wants to learn how to bake a cake, then they're more likely to watch a longer video so that they can fully understand how to bake a cake on, from that longer video. But if you're just doing like a vlog, for example, where it's just like, hey, this is me, look at my life, this is what I'm doing. In that case, then the shorter videos are probably a better bet for you.
Gord Eisman says, Professor Nez needs Nick's services for branding success. Nudge, nudge. I completely agree. And by the way, Nick at his company, Tuber Tools, correct, Nick?
Yes.
And by the way, NEZNATION, in the show notes, okay, I am going to drop all sorts of links where you can find Nick and you can get these services. You can check out his channel. I'm gonna link everything up. So at the end of this live stream, don't forget. And I'm sure Nick will go in there and probably comment too, and maybe he'll leave some of his links in the comments. Feel free to do that, Nick. I'm going to link everything. I'm going to link everything of where you can reach Nick and find out, because in the show notes, because Gord's graphics and his branding are phenomenal. So I definitely, and Gord is absolutely right, I have been so slack on that. I'm going to be, hopefully, if Nick will have me, I'm going to be requesting his services for my branding as well and the logo, because he does design as well with Tuber Tools.
Yeah.
Ryan says, indeed, very excellent value. Thank you, Ryan, for watching. Awesome. Gord says, what? Okay, before I get to those questions, before I get to, I wanted to ask, Nick. Casey said something very interesting, and I want to ask you how you got into how-to videos. Is that something that you always wanted to do? And maybe you can answer it with what Casey said. I thought it was really poignant, and I also kind of felt sad when he said this, because I felt like a lot of the strategies that we talk about were working. Casey, and if you don't know who Casey Neistat is, this dude has like 6.5 million subscribers.
Yeah.
He is a filmmaker. He's a content creator. He's a master vlogger. And if you don't know what a vlog is, it's basically like your own reality TV show. It's like you basically project or create content around your everyday happenings and things happening within your world. Is that a correct assessment of a vlog, would you say, Nick, or is that wrong?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so Casey said, you can do everything you want. And I'll never forget that he said this. Maybe you saw this, Casey, or Nick in a video. But he said, you can do anything. You can. There's no special sauce for getting, hot on YouTube or growing on YouTube. You might do a little bit, but really the key is to produce dope content. What are your thoughts on that? I kind of felt, one, yeah, of course, it has to be good shit. But I felt also, two, some of these strategies that Nick and the gang and Brian and Gord, they're working, and I'm literally a result of that. Is this just a case of like, well, easy for him to say, 6.5 million subscribers? Or
here's something to keep in mind with Casey Neistat is he initially, before he started his vlogs, he created more viral type content.
Okay,
right?
What's
and
the difference for
that got him, that got him an initial subscriber base. Right. And then once he started vlogging, he even goes through it in one of his videos to where he had 500,000 subscribers. And then he started vlogging within like a year or something like that. He went to 1 million. And then within 6 months from there, he went to 2 million.
Wow.
So he already started. He put in work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting anything that he did.
No, he's a master.
He put in tons of work, and the viral content that he made was genius, right? Because it worked. It got views, it got subscribers to his channel.
Yeah.
But basically the strategies and stuff that we use are for the people like us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The people that are like, okay, I'm not making viral content. I don't have a subscriber base right now. Right. So I'm starting at 0. So what do I have to do to go from 0 views to 1,000 views per video? What's the process? What's the road that I have to travel in order to make that happen? That's the stuff that we teach. Is how to go from not knowing what it is that you're doing to actually getting results on your channel, to getting an engaged community around your channel, to making content that that helps people so that they're more willing to share it, or that inspires them in some way so they're more likely to share it. That's the road that we help people drive down.
Oh, absolutely. So that's thank you for clarifying that, because I thought there was a part of me, and maybe it was just my not the best angels of my nature, to quote Lincoln, but like I was thinking like, well, shit, that's easy for you to say, dude. You've got 6.5 million subscribers, right? Yeah, you can say.
Right, but on the flip side of that, though, like he was saying though, that your content has to be hot,
yes,
right? I mean that is true, because if he had the same exact platform, but his vlogs were garbage, then he wouldn't have gained the following that he did.
Well,
because he put in that initial work to get the large following, out of the gate. And then when he started doing his daily vlogs, because they were awesome, you know what I mean? Then people had no choice but to follow him, because he's so good at what it is that he does, and because his content is so good. So making good content is important. And another thing that I want to mention here is one of the things that helped me right out of the gate was right when video number 1 on my channel. The optics looked good. The audio quality sounded great. Everything was good. The editing was, wasn't perfect, but it got it done. But it was still a high quality end product. And because of that, as soon as I started sharing that very first video, people started taking notice. People started saying, "Oh yeah, this is going to be good. Oh, your channel is going to grow. Oh, this, that, and the other thing." Because I focused right out of the gate. I said, "Okay, I'm gonna provide valuable content that is going to help people in some way, and I'm going to make it look as good as I can to the best of my ability at the time." And by doing that, and by focusing on that, it helped put me on the map, so to speak, right out of the gate, which was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, awesome. No, that was probably the first thing I noticed about Nick's videos. I was blown away by your lighting. I think that Your lighting schematic, Nick, is super, super attractive, and it's so easy on the eyes, and it's just a nice, perfect blend of. And I love Brian's lighting too. I actually, he talked to me a little bit about getting that kind of Apple look, so to speak, that white background, and his is awesome. But yours has such a specific flavor, such a specific fragrance to it, and it's just beautiful. Love the blue, and I love the sort of shadowy kind of. I almost wanted to say chiaroscuro lighting, but it's not really that dark in shadow, but it's just really pretty, and it really is clean, and it's just nice.
And that's another important factor, is the reason that I did this setup, because I've also made content in the living room. I've also, made content in front of the white screen, in front of the black screen. But when I put this together, my thought with this setup that you're seeing right here, my thought with that was, okay, everybody's doing white screen, everybody's doing black screen, everybody's doing green screen, everybody's doing stuff in their living room. What can I do to make my stuff pop? Right. So when people come to my videos and as soon as my video opens and I'm there talking, I want their brain to say, oh wow, what's going on here? I'm like complete stimulation. I got all this color coming in, he's energetic, and you know what I mean? Like I want everybody's brains to at the very least, even if they don't watch the whole video, I want them to at least stop for 1 second and at least take notice of what it is that they're seeing. And for that to happen, having all of that color in the background and being lively when it first starts, for me, that was my way of standing out from everybody else, because there's nobody else in my niche that does this.
And by the way, NEZNATION, if Nick has videos on his equipment, on his lighting, he has videos. If you're thinking about doing this, because there's a lot of people watching Nick who are not YouTubers, who are not video marketers, but I think they're so stifled and intimidated by all the people that are out there, and it's like, what is it? What's the number now? It's like over 1 billion or 1 million uploads a day or something. And I want to ask you about that as well, but I wanted to get to live, especially YouTube live. Okay. Gord, those are great questions. I want to get to those, but I want to talk, because we were going to talk. Before the show, we talked about super chats, and what I'm doing right here, we're doing a live stream Facebook Live talk show. I've been loving it. I couldn't believe some of the shows have gotten such insane organic reach. One show got 11,000 organic reach, which is insane. Like no paid traffic.
Nice work.
Yeah,
nice work.
I was stunned, Nick. I was like blown away. I go, there must have been a mistake. I should call Facebook. They made an error, but it wasn't an error. So I wanted to ask.
Well, that stands testament, though. Just real quick, that stands testament to what it is that you're doing, because you are helping people. You are resonating with people. You are, you know what I mean? Like you're giving people different perspectives into what it is that they're doing, and people appreciate that. So I'm sure those videos got shared and all of that stuff. So I mean, that's awesome. That's a testament that you're doing good work.
Dude, right? that means coming from you, Nick, that's like all the badge of honor I need. That's beautiful. Thank you, brother. That means a lot to me. So let me talk to you about live. We have Facebook Live. We have Twitter Live. Instagram just recently went live. And by the way, NEZNATION, if you're unaware of this, Instagram, I think, just announced, maybe today or yesterday, I can't remember, you can save your videos now to your device from Instagram Live.
Nice.
The Instagram Live was 24-hour ephemeral video. You couldn't save your live streams. Now there's a chance, there's a new feature that you can save your live stream after you're done. So now Instagram Live is getting into the game. YouTube Live rolled out to people with higher numbers of subscription rates, I think 10K and above.
It's down now. They've released it. It's now. Yeah, it's down now.
But when they initially rolled out, yeah, exactly. It's down now. But when they initially rolled out, it was to the people with higher subscriptions. Now it's down.
And the live that you're speaking about is for mobile specific.
Mobile specific. Yes.
Yeah, the live stream, being able to do it from your computer has been around for a while now. But what you're talking about that they just recently rolled out, that is, all the hype right now, so to speak, is doing it live from your phone.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Andre Thomas just joined. Andre, thank you. Andre says, I wish IG live streams were archived. Well, guess what, Andre? You can now archive them yourself. You can even upload them natively to Facebook or even to YouTube. You could even repurpose them on YouTube if you wanted to. I'm not saying you have to, but if you wanted to. So Andre, this is huge news for Instagram, because Instagram getting into that repurposed content arena is like a whole. There's 500 million users a day on Instagram, you guys. If Nick Nimmin decides to up his Instagram game, it's going to be even more. So, I mean, think about this. This is insane. And then YouTube Live from the mobile app, which is, as Nick said, is pretty brand new. And there's this element called super chats, and I want to get into super chats in just a second. But why do you think, Nick, you're the YouTube dude, love your stuff on YouTube, and I see you doing live streams more. I'm a absolute devout of live streaming. I love it. Why do you think YouTube went live? And what differentiates, you think, YouTube Live, especially from mobile, from a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live or Twitter Live?
I think they went live because they saw, one, that people were using it on their desktops and things like that, and they saw, how good it was. Two, live is trending everywhere.
Right.
So it only makes sense for a platform like YouTube, one of the second largest search engine in the world, to hop on board with something, something like that if it's taken off everywhere else. But how YouTube has an advantage over Facebook in all areas right now, and why it's so important to post your content on YouTube is because they are the second largest search engine in the world, and because your content on YouTube can also rank inside of Google, Yahoo, Bing, you know what I mean, and other smaller search engines, where with your Facebook content, it doesn't rank like the
Anywhere.
YouTube content.
Yeah, you can't. There's no discoverability for Facebook Live.
Right. It's all within their platform.
Yeah.
So with YouTube, they actually help put you out to the world, to where with Facebook, everything is more, closed within the Facebook bubble and within their ecosystem, instead of actually putting it out into the world like YouTube does.
NEZNATION, you just heard something that is phenomenally significant, phenomenally valuable. If you're interested, only if you're interested, and I love how Nick always starts his videos this way. If you're interested in growing your audience, if you're interested in gaining an audience, if you're interested in amplifying what you do, your message, your purpose, your thesis, dude, you have got to take advantage of the second largest search engine, the first largest search engine, and the possibility of it getting discovered through search. If you're like me, I don't use anything other than Google, and I think I would say the majority, why it's the largest search engine in the world, use Google. Even though Bing and Yahoo are still there, I mean, I don't see a lot of people using anything.
But here's the thing: even with Bing and Yahoo not competing, your videos still rank inside of Bing and Yahoo as well.
Amazing.
It's not just YouTube. They're basically creating new URLs because they're basically expanding their website with every single video that you upload. So all of those URLs are getting indexed all over the web, where with Facebook, that's not the case. They keep everything enclosed.
Such a beautiful point. And so taking advantage of that huge aspect, that you have such a huge leverage above the other platforms, is just phenomenal. And then we have, and by the way, I've been checking every single day, Nick. I've been checking because I know Brian, and I think you did too. Other people in the group have said that YouTube is thinking about, or not thinking about, they're going to, I think they're going to roll it out to everybody, but it's going to take a while, maybe summer or maybe fall.
Yeah, right now they're down to, if you have 2,000 subscribers, you can get on it right now. I had one person tell me that,
hey Nick, I have 100. It was a big milestone for me. 100 subs.
That's a huge milestone,
I was proud.
That's a huge milestone, and it's important to know that is a huge milestone. Like, you might think of it right now because you have 100. You might think of it like, oh, okay, well, it's only 100 subscribers.
I love it.
Yeah, man, 100 people. That's a lot of people. If 100 people were standing in your room right now, it would be crowded.
Do I want a million?
You know what I mean?
Do I want a million? Of course, but I'm proud of 100. And literally,
absolutely, and you should be. A lot of people don't make it. They give up before they hit 100. Most YouTube accounts do not hit the 100 subscriber mark.
True.
So that's a huge milestone.
Thank you, Nick. And I just started my channel in late 2016. So it's only what is it? Almost April 2017. It's only been about maybe 6-7 months, maybe at the most, I think, since I started I'm not even, I should know this, but I don't know this for certain. And I think literally, Nick, all day yesterday, okay, it's spring break at one of the universities I teach at, so I didn't have afternoon classes. Literally all day, all I did was I focused on thumbnails, I focused on tags, I focused on titles. I got help from Gord. I was searching Brian's videos, I was searching your videos. And I ranked I ranked. It was working. I'm so obsessed now with YouTube. I've been checking every single day for the YouTube mobile app to go live because I want to go live on my mobile so bad. And talk to us now. No, so not only, so Nez Nation, if you're listening to this, Chosen Boy says, I'm going to go subscribe to make that 101. Thank you, Chosen Boy. Yes. I think Steve Gamlin beat you to the punch. He's my 101st subscriber. And you can be 102. Love you, man. Gord says, if YouTube were to disappear... Okay, I want to get to that. Okay, I want to get to, because that's a really important question. And look at this, Nick. We're at the hour mark, and it feels like 10 minutes have passed.
It does feel like 10 minutes.
Are you having fun, Nick?
I'm having a blast. This is great.
I'm so glad you're here. And I could talk to you for 7 hours. So anyway, I want
to. All right, let's do it. Okay. It's the afternoon for me. I've got the time. Yes. You're supposed to be in class in 7 hours.
Be up in 5 hours.
Right.
But I don't even care. So you have to leverage the largest search engines. Nez Nation, such value. Now there's this thing called, and Nick's going to talk about this now, super chats. If you don't know what super chats are, listen to this. Nick, can you tell our Nez Nation audience what super chats is? Not only do you have the largest search engine, the second largest search engine to leverage, but now what is super chats?
Okay, before we go into what super chat is, let me first go ahead and frame the importance of using super chat within YouTube.
Okay.
With YouTube, if you are relying just on AdSense for your an income or an additional income on YouTube, or as a way to support, where you can get new gear and things like that, AdSense is the worst way and the worst thing to depend on as far as YouTube is concerned. If you get a lot of views on all of your videos, then it's not that bad. But if you are, if you have a smaller channel and, you're getting, 1,000 views, 2,000 views for video or something like that, AdSense is definitely not the way to monetize. Definitely use their ad system, because everything adds up, right?
But if you're not PewDiePie, you're not going to be making right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, I mean, you can make a serious amount of money with AdSense as well, but you have to have a large following and a large view count in order to do that. But because AdSense is so low, it's very important that you wrap some other type of business model around your YouTube channel. It's extremely important. If you're trying to actually support your channel and support your cause and whatever it is that you're doing, yes, it's very important that you find other ways to monetize your channel. And one of those is, if you have a audience on your channel that is engaged with your content, they enjoy what it is that you're doing, the YouTube has a feature now called Super Chat. Super Chat is basically a donation system within YouTube, to where if you have a live stream going and you have a bunch of people in there and they're leaving comments and things like that, it's used as a way to get attention to one person's specific comment. So let's say if I have a live stream going and I have 100 people watching the stream, comments are going like crazy, right? I mean, they're just flying, and it's real hard to stay on top of what's going on. But what happens is, if somebody leaves, like a $1 or a $5 donation, then it gets color coded, and that goes right to the top of the chat along with their message or along with their comment. So
it's highlighted.
As soon as that happens, it gets highlighted. And as soon as that happens, then whoever's on the live stream automatically, because you have this big color pop up, right? A big block of color
too. I love it. I think it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I wish I could.
Yeah,
I wish I could show you. I'm sure Nick's going to do a video on super chats. Have you done a video on super chats yet, Nick?
You know what? I haven't, actually.
Dude, you should do a video on what is a super chat and why it's important. I think that's our next video.
Yeah,
right
I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's
I get a Professor Nez credit on that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But it's beautiful.
But yeah, with super chats though, it's when it pops up, it draws the person that's streaming. It draws their attention to that comment. So it's a way to basically be recognized, so to speak, in the live streams. But from a creator standpoint, you can also, depending on the type of content that you create, you can also use it as to basically position yourself as a service provider of sorts. So if you're doing how-to type content, then people can actually donate to you so that you can show them something specific. So, say you have a stream going and you have a bunch of comments coming in and they want to know, say you do car mechanics videos and your whole stream is just talking about, different aspects of car mechanics. If you have somebody that comes in and they leave a $10 or $20 or $5 or $1 donation so that it draws your attention, and they say, well, hey, since we're talking about car mechanics, can you show me real quick where I replace my spark plugs? Right.
Right.
And then they, oh, okay, yeah, no problem, because it got their attention. So then they walk over to the car, they show you where it is that you replace their spark plugs. And
it's like advertising, isn't it, Nick? It's like advertising for your channel.
It is. It's like advertising for the channel, and it's basically giving creators a chance, depending on the type of content you make, of course.
Right. It has to be relevant.
It gives creators a chance to turn their channel into a service. In addition to their channel. And what's crazy is like on my channel, and Brian G is really good at this too, Brian G Johnson. And real quick, if you guys are not familiar with Brian G, you are missing out, and you definitely need to check him out too. And please put him in your link section for this video.
And I'm trying to get him on the show. He's been really busy with his book, but I'm going to get Brian on the show too. Brian, if you're listening,
and that's gonna be a good time.
You got to get on my show, Brian.
But one of the things that we do on ours when we go live is we have the video section at the beginning, which it's really hard. Like I said before, I'm not an expert on the live streaming, so I'm still getting used to controlling the room, so to speak. So basically what happens is you go in and you start doing a live presentation, and then all the comments start coming in, and naturally you want to start responding to people.
Yeah. Right.
So naturally you're like, oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, welcome to the room.
Yes.
And then you get completely derailed. Brian's better at holding it together than I am. But great.
I saw your live stream today on YouTube. Was it YouTube Ideas? I think it was.
Yeah,
you posted it
and that was horrible. I might just be
the audio in the beginning. There was a problem, and then you even said in the stream, you go, "I'm going to cut this out."
Restart.
And you didn't cut it out. I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah, I haven't yet.
I was actually glad you left it in because I thought it was more. It was more authentic. It was more. I think that's the nature of live stream is. I was telling
you can't fake anything.
Exactly, and I was telling that's exactly right. You can't fake. I was telling Gord because I'm trying to push Gord to go live, and even Owen agrees. The expectation for live streams is much different than a pre-recorded or pre-scripted video.
Oh yeah.
So people they're not expecting this polished, perfect. It's okay. All they want is somebody to be real. That's it.
Right.
And so
and the conversation, that with Super Chat, another cool thing with that is by being able to give $1 or something like that to a creator, it also brings that recognition to you as well, and helps you show up on their radar as well, which is pretty cool.
Oh my God. And I was watching Tim Schmoyer do an editing video, and I think I was talking to somebody else about this too, and somebody donated $500 in one super chat.
Oh, nice.
$500 in one super, maybe it was 50. Hold on a second. Well, anyway, that's a lot of money. If it's 50 or 500, I think it was more than that. Maybe it was 100, but anyway, it was a lot of money, and it just turned this beautiful, incandescent red. I mean, really crimson, bright red.
Yeah, that's the 100. Yeah, I think that's the
okay. That's the 100. Yeah. So he wrote in the comment, "Your channel has helped me immensely," and I know Nick knows who Tim Schmoyer is, and so does Gord.
Oh yeah. And
he wrote in the comment, "Your channel has helped me so much that I'm more than happy to give you this tip." And that's
sure.
And guys, check this out. Listen to what Nick's saying. You have the opportunity to do something if you love this, which I love. You have the opportunity to do something, and you know what Tim was doing when he did this? When he got all these super chats, Tim was editing a video that he was going to do anyway, whether he went live, whether he got tips or not. He was editing a video that he was going to upload on YouTube, and he went live. He shared his screen, and he was just talking to his audience. And he has like 200,000. I mean, I think he has a lot of subscribers.
Yeah.
And so his chat was just on fuego, right? I mean, his chat was blowing up. And then it's like, think of the opportunity. So listen to what Nick's saying. If I may, Nick, just review.
Oh, yeah.
The largest search engine in the world, Google. The second largest search engine in the world, YouTube. Other large search engines, discoverability, getting your message out there, getting heard, the ability to be seen, to be discovered, which Facebook Live, Twitter Live is sort of... Periscope, you do have a little discoverability, and you want to talk about trolls. Oh my God, Nick, I had so many trolls on Periscope, and I love Periscope, but the trolls abound on Periscope, and you can ban them. It's really cool, but it's not quite the same because it's a map, and you have to actually go and search it's like a lot more work as far as discoverability. But listen to what Nick's saying. Not only do you have all that powerhouse search engine prowess, but then you also have this ability to monetize your very stream. And I think Brian's made some pretty good coin. I think. Do you mind sharing, Nick? Have you made anything that's worth? I think even $5 is a lot, but I mean, do you mind sharing any numbers, like high numbers or low numbers?
Yeah. I average right around $100 a stream.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Like that is.
Yeah. So if you think of that in terms of sometimes it's a little bit higher, sometimes it's just a tad less, but that's about my average right now.
That is so great.
And that'll keep growing as my
Huge.
as my subscriber base grows, right?
And this is something that Nick loves to do, Nez Nation. This is something that Nick would probably do anyway. That's the beauty.
I was doing anyway, right? Like I was doing it anyway. Yeah. You know, it just happened to, they just happened to release this this feature. But like I was excited when they just rolled out the mobile because I knew that I was going to be able to go live more. Just because it takes away the, you had to do it today with syncing up your audio and all that stuff. Like it's all self-contained. It's so easy that it makes going live a no-brainer. So I knew as soon as they released this feature for the mobile, I knew that I was going to be doing a live stream every week.
And I wonder when, Nick, your screen just froze for a second, but you're okay now. You're actually good now. You're fine. And
okay.
I wonder, imagine if this talk show, I'm sure Chosen Boy. Look at Ryan. Ryan just said $100 average per stream is pretty awesome. I agree, Ryan. I completely.
Yeah. Think of it this way: $100 average per stream. I'm streaming every Saturday, which is 4 times a month. So essentially, that's an extra $400 a month that I'm getting for free, just because I'm providing valuable content to people.
Oh my God! That's how much my kid's tuition is for his preschool. Imagine paying for your kid's tuition. Imagine paying serious bills, electric bills. A car payment, right?
Brian, because Brian is like an expert live streamer. If you want to see somebody that's really entertaining and really, he's a fantastic live streamer. But I know he's had streams where he's made like $300.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane. So I wonder when Facebook, Nick, is going to jump on this, or are they just going to? They don't want the money leaving there. I don't know. It's interesting because I think YouTube has done something phenomenal. There are live stream apps where you can tip your streamer, like Busker, but not even near.
But it makes it more difficult.
It makes it more difficult.
Right.
So I just want to say, we've gone for an hour and 13, and I was
goes fast.
Dude, this has been Nez Nation. I hope to God, show us those hearts and likes. If you're like me, I'm like a little kid right now. Like I'm so giddy right now. Like I love talking about this. I'm giddy for YouTube. I'm obsessed with doing this, my talk show. This has always been a dream of mine. Nez Nation, if you have a dream, if you have a vision, if you're thinking about doing this, if this bozo, if this idiot, I'm pointing to me, Nez Nation, if I can do this, and Nick said he's had fun. I believe him when he said he's had fun. He's provided so much value. Listen to what Nick is saying. Listen to what this show is all about. You can do this too. You can go.
Yeah, if I can jump in. Do you mind if I jump in?
Oh, please.
Yeah, and like he was saying, if he can do it, if I can do it, the same thing. What's a really important thing to keep in mind, and I cannot express this enough, is if you want to do anything on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, if you want to, the whole idea is basically letting people know about you, let people know what it is that you're doing, let people know, what it is that you're into, and basically getting other people on board with what it is that you're doing, right?
Even if it's as simple as throwing in your 2 cents, you don't have to be a how-to guy. Like Nick is a great teacher. Like Nick's a phenomenal teacher. And the stuff that I like to do with my mindset show and self-awareness and kind of consciousness studies and things of that nature, you don't even have to go that route. Just throw in your 2 cents. It can be about anything. Just your thoughts on what happened on CNN or whatever. Just what happened on a talk show, or you have a cause you care about. You have a purpose. Just throwing in your 2 cents. You exist. Yeah, go ahead, Nick. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. No problem at all. But the most important thing to keep in mind is if you want to create an audience of any kind, that one, you're going to start out and it's most likely going to be difficult.
Yes.
But what's going to happen, and the most important thing that you have to keep in mind, that they're the only things that are separating you from having 0 followers to having a bunch of followers is time and effort. That's it. Well, actually 3 things: time, effort, and understanding, because you have to get an understanding of how everything works. But as far as, the different platforms that you're using, but the only thing, like the only thing that separates your followers and my followers is just the amount of time that we've been doing it. That's it. right? It's the amount of time that we've been doing it. And I focus all of my efforts on understanding YouTube and understanding, how to actually get things going on YouTube. And because of it, that's where I've excelled. But the only thing that separates, having no followers and having a lot of followers is just time, effort, knowledge.
Wow.
That's it.
That's just, I mean, that's so amazing to hear. And thank you for sharing that, Nick. I almost want to say, and Gord, I'm going to get to your question. Gord's been asking this question about 5 times, I think. Gord, I'm going to get to your question and then we're going to get out of here. We're going to wrap it up. Nick, I think you're such a good teacher. I've been teaching at the university level. I've been teaching at tutoring. I've been doing online, I think you're such a good teacher. I almost I'm a little bit reticent to say this because I feel like this is my niche and maybe you could talk about this. I think your perspective, your mentality, your approach is phenomenal. It's beautiful, man. And I think that
Thank you.
If you ever felt inclined, you could dominate. I mean, it's not about competition or dominating, but I mean, you could really help people in a different way too. I think your approach, especially when you talked about how you handle trolls and how you handle negative feedback, it's such an interesting approach. I think anything Nick Nimmin wants to teach, he could do. I mean, you guys have to. And by the way, don't forget, I'm going to give Nick a little platform here, a little voice to tell people where you guys can find him. But I'm also going to leave a bunch of links up here in the show notes, okay? And also, I think Nick might even go through the stream and leave some comments as well. But I got to get to Gord's question, and then I'll let Nick wrap up. Nick, so Gord asks, Nick, who are the top 3 YouTubers you watch? That's a good question. Who are the top 3 YouTubers you watch to learn from, Nick? I'm curious. Good question, Gord.
I watch Brian, of course, because
awesome.
Yeah, but Brian goes a lot deeper into the search videos than anybody in our niche. Roberto Blake goes pretty deep sometimes too.
Roberto's phenomenal.
Yeah, Roberto is awesome.
He is great.
I watch Brian because one, I enjoy how he entertains, and I enjoy how he shares his information. So I'm a fan, of Brian. I'm a friend and a fan, right?
Yeah, his personality.
And
we have to all get together and have some beers, dude. Like all of us.
Hey, dude, we're going to Vid Summit. Go to Vid Summit.
Wait, where is that?
Vid Summit is in LA in October.
Are you kidding me?
No, dude. Go to Vid.
I'm like an hour. I'll be there. I'm like an hour from LA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like 12 hours from LA by plane. Actually, by plane, I'm sorry, with layovers and all that stuff, I'm like 24 hours really is how long it takes.
Dude, Nick's gonna be. Look at this. Look at this.
But I'm going anyway. So if I can make it, then you can make it.
Dude, count on me being there, and I'm gonna give you and Brian the biggest bear hug because I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Gord says Brian and Roberto are faves for me too. Gord says I'm in. Gord's gonna be there too. So Roberto and Brian. Is there anybody else?
Yeah, Roberto, Brian, and I watch Daryl too. He's
Daryl Eves.
Yeah, I watch Daryl. I watch Tim Schmoyer. I watch everybody. I watch Brian. I watch Owen Himsath. Owen's a genius.
Awesome.
Using YouTube and Facebook for business.
Yeah.
I watch Roberto Blake. Religiously, I watch video creators, Tim Schmoyer, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I watch Daryl Eves. He's at the top of our game. He's at the top of our niche. The head dude in our niche, so to speak.
Yeah.
I definitely watch him. James Wedmore, even his old stuff, he's actually a big inspiration, for me when I first started. Gideon Shalwick, I watch his stuff. He just started uploading recently. If you guys aren't familiar with him, go check out Gideon Shalwick as well. But yeah, I mean, you can see in my sidebar, Justin Brown over at Primal Video. I watch him. His stuff is more like video related and how to do video, but he's an excellent teacher in what he does.
Cool.
So, I watch everybody in our niche. It's my responsibility to, if I'm sharing that kind of information to watch others and to, see what everybody else is doing too. And Sean over at Video Influencers too. They make amazing content over there too. And just loads of value on their stuff as well.
Very, very cool, Nick. Thank you, Carinder. Thank you, Carinder, for joining. That's awesome. Dude, Nick, I just want to say, man, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing the show. This has been
thanks for having me on.
I had such a personal connection to your info and to your teaching and your value, but I know for a fact that NEZNATION is going to get a shit ton out of this as well. So I just want to say thank you so much. And I hope to God, Nick, that you keep growing. I hope to God that you don't ever stop creating. Oh, I know. I need to ask one thing because this actually, and I think Gord asked this. Do you mind if I ask you one more quick one, Nick?
I've got all day, man. Like I said, it's only 1 PM here, so I've got all day. You're the one that has to get up in a few hours. I'm up. I'm up for the day. So
I'm the one that has to get up. That's right. It's my gig. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, because this is actually really personal for me, because I'm spending so much time on YouTube and I love it. And I know you do too. Thank you, Chosen Boy. Chosen Boy says, I love this stream. Thank you, Chosen Boy. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chosen Boy.
What happens? Do you ever think about this? I wonder if you ever think about this, Nick, being such a prolific, YouTuber. I think about this. What if, and Gord asked this earlier, what would happen if YouTube just all of a sudden, and I don't think this is likely, what would happen if YouTube all of a sudden just went away? Is that a possibility? And what do you do to sort of, fortify yourself for that? Or do you? I don't know.
One word, MySpace. When MySpace was big, we didn't think MySpace was going anywhere.
That's true.
When Yahoo was dominating the search engine game, we didn't think Yahoo was going anywhere.
AOL.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Google is dominating everything right now, but it's possible there might be somebody that comes in that offers something that nobody's thought of yet. And that would be a complete game changer and there's so many people in YouTube that just everybody hopping ship and going would not likely happen overnight. There would be a steady, decline that would happen. But let's say that YouTube just says, you know what, for whatever reason, we're not making the profit that we would like to make because they're a company. If they said, you know what, we're not making the profit that we would like to make, which I don't believe this would ever happen, but we're not making the profit we'd like to make, and tomorrow we are shutting down YouTube. In that situation, what I would do is I would immediately start focusing on another platform. And because of the understanding that I've gained from YouTube, I would just apply all of that to, another platform or maybe 2 other platforms, to see which one I could, get traction on and which one I liked best. But I would just take, all of the knowledge that I've gained from growing on YouTube and just apply that in massive amounts to, whatever else. And in addition to that, I have archives of all of my content for both my channels, because I have 2 YouTube channels. So I have archives of both of my channels. So I would just, start uploading that stuff right away. And I would build a following somewhere else.
Do you ever, because I know you're a video marketer, and thank you, by the way, Nick, that's, and Jason just chimed in, nobody ever going to take down Google, LOL. Yeah, I agree with Nick. I don't think it's likely. I don't
think it's likely, but you never know. That is
Chosen Boy.
You have to consider. You have to have an open mind and consider that, those things are possible. And you have to say, okay, well, in the event that does happen, what am I going to do?
Well, right? Chosen Boy just said nobody thought Vine would go, but look,
right?
Some of us did, but hey, it went, and Vine was big.
Right.
Vine was really big. Vine was bigger than Snapchat at some,
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I want to switch this up just for a second, and I know we got to wrap up, and definitely I have to wrap up. Maybe not Nick. Nick's got all day, but I want to wrap this up, and maybe you could answer this for me too. Unlikely, and I completely agree, and I think most of the viewers agree too, unlikely that YouTube's just going to be like, we're done. It could happen, absolutely. You have to prepare yourself for that. What are your thoughts on self-hosting videos? Do you have any, do you have because you hear this thought of, you don't claim on rented land, so to speak. You don't want to claim your stake or stake your claim on rented property, which basically YouTube is rented property, right? We're renting property. Do you ever try to get people to go to do you do that whole marketing thing, the funnel thing of getting everybody to your landing page, your website? And do you self-host videos at all, Nick?
Emails. I do it via emails.
Via email? Okay.
Yeah, I do it via email list. So in the event that I had to hop platforms for whatever reason, or YouTube just said, hey, dude, we're shutting your account down tomorrow, then I can send those people to anywhere else, a new channel or a new platform or whatever, to where I would at least have an initial base that I could start with. So I do that via email. But as far as actually self-hosting the videos is concerned, you can use like Wistia, or you can use Amazon or something like that in order to actually, serve the stream. But the only downside of that, in my opinion, is you don't get the exposure, right out of the gate unless you already have a website. I mean, you can start building a blog or start building a website today so that in a year from now, you do have that presence. But right now, you can start out as somebody that doesn't have any web properties whatsoever, doesn't have anything but a phone. You can make videos right now. You can put them onto YouTube. You can watch a handful of videos. You can spend one day watching videos specifically about how to rank your videos in search. And after, 5, 10, 15 videos, you'll start picking up steam, and you'll as long as you're providing value to people, right? You'll start picking up steam, and your videos will start to rank. And I mean, it's all built in to YouTube. It doesn't take a ton of time. It's all built in. You can make a video right now and you can put it up, and depending on how narrow the niche is that you're going for, you might start getting eyeballs on it right away.
Right. Okay. Wow. Great point. Fantastic. So, NEZNATION, just to kind of reiterate the value that and reiterate.
Yeah, I tend to ramble.
No. That was beautiful.
Sum that up. I tend to ramble.
Dude, if there's anybody who rambles, it's this dude. ask them; they'll tell you. Especially my students in class, they're like, "Oh my God, is he ever going to shut up?" So, if I may, Nick, just to kind of reiterate just the beautiful resources that you mentioned. Here is the sign of somebody who's a professional video creator. He loves his platform. He's growing on that platform. He's leveraging that platform, but he's not inept to the point where he doesn't think about the possibilities. He doesn't think about his own sort of propriety, right? His own sense of ownership. So he archives, he backs up. I think I think a lot of people go into these things naively, and they grow these huge, followings, and they grow these platforms, and then all of a sudden things like Vine happens and things like MySpace, like you said, and talk about defeating and talk about, going into talking about a sense of failure and a sense of I quit, I'm done. That can really rush up on you. So look at how Nick does it.
In addition to YouTube as a platform shutting down, which is not likely, but in addition to that, let's not even look at it as a platform. Let's look at it as your individual channel. You're 3 strikes away from losing your YouTube channel at any given time.
Wow.
So so let's say that you do something that is, or even 1 strike away, depending on how bad you violate something. But let's say that you make a video and it happens to, because you're not aware of their policies or whatever, let's say you happen to violate something that they frown upon heavily, and because of it, they come in and they just cancel your channel. That's a reality that can happen. So
like
so
piracy or something, Nick, like a music thing or something like that.
Yeah, like with a music thing, or let's say that you go in there and you're, because people make different types of content. Let's say it's somebody who goes in there and they are, just spewing hate speech or, something like that, to where it's violating another, term of service. Then, their
this
channel
actually happened to somebody big in the Facebook space, a big influencer on Facebook. They actually were doing a Facebook Live. And what Nick is talking about is tantamount, because they were doing a Facebook Live and they happened to pass like a shopping center or mall that was playing a Beatles song or some kind of or Madonna song. It was in the live stream, and she got her channel, or I mean, you could call it her channel, her page, or whatever, her presence, her profile, shut down for like a couple of weeks until she had to. I mean, she had to go through the rigmarole and all the protocol and red tape.
That happened here in Thailand too. They had a woman that basically she was using her Facebook page as like a vlog of sorts, and the same thing. She wasn't mindful because she didn't know. She wasn't mindful of all the copyright stuff and things like that, because unless you're operating in spaces that talk about that sort of thing, that's not something that people naturally think about, especially in today's day and age where it's commonplace to hop online and download music or things like that. People aren't as copyright aware as they should be if they're not operating in the spaces where people are talking about being aware of copyright in your videos. And because of that, and just like the person you're talking about, because of that, she had a lot of copyright protected music in all of the different things she was doing. Just she would be at a club and she would have her live stream going, and she was talking about what was going on there, and they're playing music in the background and stuff like that. But she had like millions of people on her Facebook page, and they canned her.
So, wow, that's amazing. So check this out, NEZNATION. We've really
tried to sue him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So NEZNATION, look at the beautiful sort of lineage of this stream. We've gone through how-to. We've gone through what are some practices and best strategies. We've gone to what's happening with live streaming, with what's happening, what differentiates YouTube from the different platforms. And now Nick so, valiantly, has described hey, know the terms of condition. Study up on the platform. Study up on the FAQs. Study up on what they require and what their infractions entail, because otherwise you could be putting in all that work and archive. I think archiving is really important. I am so blessed. I feel so grateful to have you on the show, Nick. I think this might just be the best one that we've done so far. I kind of love the fact that I feel like this show has always been a dream of mine. Thank you, Gord, for staying up with us. Gord says it was worth staying up into the morning. All right, thank you, Gord.
Thanks, Gord.
I just want to say, Nick, this has been just a phenomenal show, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to remind everybody in Nez Nation that I'm going to be linking again. I'm going to be linking all of Nick's channels and his sites and his links to where you can find him, where you can reach him. Nick, just for Nez Nation, just let us, for the next maybe minute or so, let Nez Nation know anything you want to let them know, and maybe where they can find you. Go ahead.
You can find me at Nick Nimmin everywhere.
Just
Nick Nimmin,
right, basically.
Yeah, you can Google.
That's what I do.
You can Google. Yeah, you can Google my name, or you spell it just like this right here: NickNimmin. And and that will take you. The first thing that pops up should be my YouTube channel, actually. But yeah, I focus mainly on YouTube, and I focus on helping creators get past that learning curve of going from not knowing what's going on to having a deep understanding of how to rank your videos,
and I'm actually a product. I'm a witness to. I'm a result. I'm a living, breathing result that Nick's teachings are practical. They're experiential. They're not theoretical. They're not fantasy. Right. They actually work. Nez Nation.
Right.
So, Nick, that's awesome. And again, I'm going to leave all those links as well. So, Nez Nation, I want to thank our guest. I'm your host, Professor Nez. I want to thank our guest vehemently and adamantly. Thank you again, Nick, for stopping by. And
thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate you reaching out. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. And anytime you want, we may have to do another one with you, because I've got so much I want to talk to you about. So
yeah, for sure.
We may do a part 2 with Nick Nimmin if time allows. I mean, I know I'll have him on the show any day of the week. I want to remind you, Nez Nation, please, if you got any value out of this, please share this. If you want to ever get notified next time we go live, Nez Nation Live, we've done already 10 episodes, and we just launched a couple weeks ago. I've been just powerhousing these, I mean, it helps because I love doing this. But go ahead and hit that like button on my page and hit the notifications, follow, so that you can, every time we go live, every time we have a show, you will know, and you will get such value like what Nick Nimmin has produced tonight. Unreal, explosive, love it. Nick, thank you so much. Nez Nation, thank you so much, and we are out of here. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Take care.